Guys, bad news. Almost about to get hit by an ambulance. Bad news for me. An ambulance almost ran me over. Bad news for international students coming from India, guys. And it's a terrible news actually because I, one of my subscribers on this channel, guys, over the past, I've been doing this for like 6 years, were from India. A lot of Indians plan to come to Canada, and a lot of Indian news channels are publishing news, and everyone is talking about it. Indian students facing deportation in Canada, and they're saying 70,000 Indian students are about to face deportation to go back to India from Canada. So, and those are the people who spend, well, tens of thousands of dollars to come to Canada, guys, to build a dream, to immigrate to Canada. But I'll tell you guys, it's not only Canada who is doing that right now, it's also Australia. In fact, in recent years, I don't know what the hell happened, guys, but a lot of people in Canada has developed a sort of, how do I say it in such a way that I don't get demonetized? A hatred towards Indians for some reason. Guys, I don't know, but it's almost like a political agenda right now against Indian population, which I don't really like, because my kids are half Indian, my wife is from India. I don't really like hatred towards any kind of, especially on this kind of basis, guys. But anyways, long story short is, it's pretty bad. And why is it done? Well, I'll tell you guys why it is done. It is done for political reasons. It's actually strange. A guy who was just dancing, Justin Trudeau, who was just dancing Punjabi dances, is now, going against his main audience of supporters. And I'm talking about India, the Indian population, one of those key supporters for his elections and everything. I guess he figured out through the polls that probably, Polyev has a better chance of winning on the next elections, and this is the way to see if he is being in power, or I don't know what the changes are like that, but it's pretty bad. So what is going on, guys? Why are they getting deported? Why is everyone crying about it? I want to say, guys, first of all, let's start off by saying, because guys, I studied immigration law. I'm not an immigration consultant, so my business doesn't get damaged, guys. I'm into real estate. And I want to say, guys, I work as a realtor with XP Realty here in Calgary, Alberta. So if anyone needs homes, you know where to find me. Description of this video. Anyways, guys, hear me out. So basically, guys, for political reasons and everything, nobody's getting deported. I studied immigration law. What it is basically they are limiting for those provinces where unemployment is high. So guys, not enough housing. Who is responsible in the eyes of the government? It's of course not the government who didn't build enough houses. No. It's the immigrants. Like myself, like you. Probably you watching this channel. Guys, I do real estate. A lot of my friends, most of my friends in Canada are also immigrants. So most of the people here are immigrants. So who are in fault? Well, immigrants. Well, we cannot call immigrants right now. So they went against immigration now, targets for bringing in a lot of people. They're like, okay, you know who is at fault? If we call immigrants are at fault, there's too many votes, we're going to lose, let's say, temporary workers. So that's what they're doing. So what deportation is? Deportation is if you violated your stay and you're staying in Canada illegally, then they can deport you. And actually, they can't really deport you if it's unsafe to go back to your country. So there's lots of things. Talk to your immigration lawyers, consultants who you have in terms of deportation. So for now, nobody's getting deported. All they're saying is that 70,000 people are not going to be able to get through their express entry. And they're not targeting specifically Indians. It's just a lot of propaganda machine right now working, saying Indians. You know why they say Indians? Because a lot of people from India come to Canada. Now, guys, look at this. I would say not many people from Ukraine are coming to Canada, but the situation there right now, anywhere, Starbucks, Tim Hortons, anywhere I go, I can hear people speaking Ukrainian because I speak Ukrainian. Like, Ukrainians are everywhere right now. Not a good example, but hear me out, guys. It's not a good example in terms of that, but hear me out, because look at this way. International students coming on foreign visa or temporary work permit, bringing billions of dollars into Canadian economy, are the ones who are falling under this retribution, so to speak. So those guys who created jobs for Canadians, contributed to economy and everything, has also created a source of cheap labor on the market. So they want to get rid of that cheap labor. Guys, and they're saying, well, they want to get rid of abuse. But I think it's so freaking unfair. It's so fucking unfair. Sorry, I get demonetized now for sure. Because they're doing it to the people who are already in Canada, who already came here. They're not restricting the new people who haven't yet spent money. So they're screwing over 70,000 people who came from other countries, spent all that money, And now they're like, oh, well, now what do I do? Express entry. So what they're doing is saying that now, guys, I know a lot of people are going to say that, no, it's fair, because people like other people suffering. It's just in human nature, it's like that. Oh, well, they lost their money, good for them. I also lost money in the past, and I hate everybody else. Like a good, like there are some people who get pleasure out of other people's suffering, and I don't like those people though. But I want to say that it's unfair. It's unfair, regardless of what you think. Okay, maybe you have a huge, empathy, something against that specific culture. But look at this: people borrowed money, came from other countries. Why are they coming from India? Okay, I'll cover this I'll cover it quickly, because India used to be a British colony. A lot of Indians are speaking English. Indian people, they study well, they can pass the entrance exam, and a lot of them have a lot of money. So why are they coming to Canada? For those obvious reasons. You get an European person to come to Canada. In Europe, we have our own languages, our own pride in terms of our languages, and we don't give a damn about English language. So a lot of us don't speak English. More difficult to get admitted. More difficult, you have to learn a different language. In India, there is a popularity. Even though they're a free country, there's a lot of British influence, British stuff. Guys, my wife is from India. I've been to vacation to India for 3 months recently, not too long ago. So I want to say that it's easier for them to get admitted. And guys, even for Chinese, it's probably more difficult to come to Canada. You have to pass it, and you have to learn English and different culture. But Indians are really good in languages, so that's why a lot of Indian students are coming to Canada. And when I was in India, huge propaganda. There's agents all over India making millions of dollars by bringing Indian students. I was there in Kerala, in South India, and there's advertisement, work permit. International students, Indians, and everything. And of course, right now, to make things worse, India propaganda machine and their news channels over there, like Hindustan Times and other stuff, who are working for Modi and other things. In my opinion, guys, very biased media, just like everywhere else, just like other fake news here in North America as well. Like a news channel, they serve a narrative, so to speak. There is different news channels, so different narratives. You will see a different shade of the same kind of news from different channels. So they're like, oh, Indian students are getting deported, but actually it's not for Indians, it's all for everyone. And for some reason, somehow the media and politicians managed to develop kind of hatred, which I don't really like that much. And yeah, especially on news, media, social media, like that beach in Ontario, where some lady had a viral video. I'll be talking about it in a separate video. But anyways, long story short is, guys, government screwed up, did a shitty job managing the economy. There was pandemic, there was other things going on, and right now it's like just changing the policy for getting votes and everything. So unfortunately, what they're doing is a lot of people in those areas where the employment, I think it's over 6%, they're going to limit the amount of people who are going to be going through provincial programs. So it's just a limitation on provincial programs. All of those people are going to go now through express entry. There is still a way to get a permanent residency through express entry. Now you have to have a lot of CRS score. And it's really unfortunate what is happening right now, and the entire targeting of a singling out of one specific community that is happening. And of course, you can leave a comment. I'm sure a lot of people are going to tell the reasons. Guys, you can comment about those reasons. I'm not allowed to speak about those reasons on this channel, because there was a video about that lake where somebody pooped, I think. There was something else on the news, so there's like lots of recent social media hatred towards a certain community, guys, which is well, it is what it is, and the political narrative for that, which is also unfortunate. But in reality, it's targeting not specific one community, it's all international students, and there's still a way to get your migration done, and nobody's getting really deported, because deportation is only if you violated your stay. There are always ways to stay, but I still think that in a way, Canadian government is acting very unethically. Well, what people can argue, what ethically, if we have like really a bad situation right now with the government. A lot of people are going to say we are like almost a communism, dictatorship, or a lot of people are going to say a lot of things. I don't know what's going on. Leave opinions in the comments down below. I also want to speak to that, because it's also like an informational war. It's if you look at the things that's happening right now, I look in between the lines, so I don't blame a single governmental person for a single thing, because of like trying to understand everything. And in reality, of course, I think the change is good. We'll see. hopefully conservatives can fix the things, but I think the damage is far beyond fixing, and in a short-term period as well. But blaming one community or deporting international student is, in my opinion, just like I said before, it's fucking unfair to do that to people who came here, put up their life savings, they'll come to Canada. If you like, guys, how I think it should be done. Well, everything has to be done properly, but of course we are not doing anything properly here because we are, well, not that organized. I'm talking about our governments, If you want to limit the immigration, you have to limit the upcoming international students. You have to limit upcoming, those people who haven't yet invested their livelihood and everything. But it just means that the government really doesn't give a damn about your money and about your livelihood. And international students, you got lured in, you spend so much money. Let's calculate how much money. 70,000 international students. Each of them, let's say, spend $50,000 for education. Multiply 70,000 by 50,000, and you see how much money people spend. And the wages in those countries they're coming from are even less than in Canada, way less. And they pay 3 to 5 times more for the same education in Canada that Canadians are getting. And now the government is like, well, who is responsible? Oh, international students. We'll save you from abuse of employers, guys. I was taken advantage of while I was an international student by employers in Canada. I was underpaid, mistreated as well by my employers because of the same reason. Well, luckily, I worked for Canadian employers. I stayed away from my own people. But a lot of, if you focus only on Indian international students, they work for Indian guys, and Indian guys who are same as Ukrainian. That's why I didn't work for my own people, and not to get mistreated, because they would know that you're an international student and you can work for less, and you're going to shut up and do your work as long as you had the job in order to build your Canadian work experience. And I think Canadians are a little bit better ethically than our own people. The system here, the education here is better, and people are in general better and more genuine like that. So yes, does it solve a problem? I don't think it's going to solve anything. Does it screw up 70,000 people? Probably it does. Is anyone getting deported? Not really. It's just the CRS score. It's very more challenging to get your PR through Express Entry, because now all of these international students who didn't have to go through CRS score through Express Entry, they'll still find a way. A lot of them are going to stay through Express Entry. It's just that those people who don't have enough points are going to be screwed, because there is 70,000 more people coming into the pool of Express Entry, and good luck for a lot of people not going to get their immigration done. So that's the problem. And the biggest worst thing about it is why I'm so agitated about this topic, guys, is that I came to Canada 12 years ago through that stream as an international student. So yeah, at that time it wasn't that bad. Actually, we didn't have so many people coming in, but it's from my point, it's sad that they decided to go after international students and label one ethnicity so badly and target them and make all of this. And plus, all the Indian news channels decided to focus on that as well and create even more hatred towards Canadians in their own sphere of influence, so to speak, political and informational. And in Canada, there is a sphere of influence that gets hatred against that community as well, because of social media and other things. It's pretty bad, actually. But anyways, at least it's not only in Canada happening. I think Australians are also doing. It looks like it's an international flow of things going on like that. But it's sad news. It's sad, and I don't think it's fair. Let me know, guys, in the comments what you think about this. Let me know in the comments down below if the government of Canada, did they do the right thing? Let me tell you my opinion. Did they do the right thing? It is the right thing, but done in the wrong way. That's my opinion. What do you think? Should have they done it sooner, before those people spent that much of money and put their entire livelihood? Just think about it. Their entire family could have taken a loan in India against their real estate in order for them to come to Canada, to be able to stay here, and then to repay their loan in India to get the education here. And now if they go back home, they can't report the loan, their real estate could be seized, and they are basically screwed. So what do you think, guys? Based on this information, what would you say? Thanks, and thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.